Hello, welcome to White Threads FlossTube number 14. Today I have a piece of embroidery that I'm wearing to show you, probably quite obvious, and I'm going to talk to you about hardanger and colour and the difference it can make from changing a whitework design into colour. So first of all, off to my shirt that I'm wearing today. I'll show you the collar close up. This is a Smøyg collar on this shirt. Smøyg is pattern darning. It comes from Norway. Hang on, let's see if I can go in a bit closer. It's not very bright. Anyway, I hope you can see that. Smøyg is pattern darning from Norway, and as well as the pattern darning here, which is all running stitch, there's also this little edge on the collar, which is called mouse tags. So it looks like little teeth, and that's done by doing a bit of drawn thread work and weaving bars back together, then folding those bars in half. So on the inside there isn't anything, that's so that I don't get the itchiness of the wool against my skin, and all of the embroidery is on the outside. So that's my embroidered shirt for the day. This is a project in my book, Smøyg Pattern Darning from Norway. So if you want one, you can make one too. This is the embroidery that I'm going to show you today. This is the Anniken Hardanger runner. It was my first foray into more traditional style hardanger, where it's done in bands and not in unusual shapes on a piece of fabric. So the idea of this is that they always worked in wide bands across fabric. They could be narrow bands as well if it was on a collar or something like that. But they didn't have the buttonhole edging generally, so they didn't make all strange, odd-shaped pieces like we're often used to seeing today. So traditional style hardanger is very, very different than old style hardanger. Sorry, new style hardanger, contemporary hardanger. So this was a piece that I did quite a number of years ago. I was working in Pearl Cotton 5 and Pearl Cotton 8 on 25 count linen, and it has the clustered eyelets. This was the first time I'd done them. I sat down and worked them out, and it's also got a drawn thread band border along the side here with four-sided stitch as well. And these are all typical things of hardanger embroidery in the more traditional style. I didn't want it to be particularly difficult, so I didn't really do anything fancy in the drawn thread work area. This was for learning new things like the clustered eyelets and the drawn thread work band. So that's been a really popular design over many years, and some years after I'd done it I thought I'd really like to try doing that in colour. I wonder how it'd look. So I was at, I think, the Sydney Craft Show one year, and I visited the Stitches and Spices stand, or Stitches and Spice stand, and found myself a beautiful piece of this fabric, which is called Blood and Smoke. Now, unfortunately, Stitches and Spice doesn't operate as a business anymore, so you won't be able to get this fabric, but you might be able to find something else that's quite beautiful. Now, it's going to be difficult for you to see the colours of this particularly well, but you can see that it's exactly the same design. This is 28 count linen instead of the 25, and this one has got, I think it's ecru with black rather than the white on white. Trying to get it so you can see it rather well. I think that shows you that I've got the black here, the ecru here, there's black there. The eyelets themselves, I'll try and put something bright behind it so you can see. No, it's a bit hard to see. Anyway, there's eyelets there, clustered eyelets. They're worked in the same colour as the fabric so that they recede quite a bit more. Oh, there, you can see it much better there. And so you can see that the whole design looks completely and utterly different when it's in colour as compared to the white. So there are a couple of differences between them. The white one is done on 25 count linen. The coloured one is done on 28 count linen. But apart from that, and the colour generally, there is very little difference between the two. And so I just found it was a really interesting way to interpret the design completely differently, and it gives it a very, very, very different look than the white one. But each are beautiful in their own way. So I just wanted to be able to show you that you can reinterpret things in colour. Don't be afraid to. Choose colours that you feel work well together, play around with them, and just see if you can come up with a totally different version of the same thing. So maybe there's a design that you really like that you've done before and you think, maybe I'd like to try that again. Or maybe this time do it in colour and see the difference that you can get. I also wanted to show you that bright, strong colours can be very striking. So a lot of people tend to use soft colours in their Hardanger, so soft blues and apricots and pinks and things like that. You don't have to use soft. You can use bright and colourful and strong, and there's no shame in that at all. I've just finished in the last day the design of a project for my next book, which is going to be a very large project, and I'm really, 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 really excited to start stitching it. So that will probably start happening in the next day or so. So unfortunately, I can't show you a lot of the things that I'm working on, but I am making progress on my projects for the next book, which is very exciting. I have not yet revealed what it is about, so if you're wondering, what is it about? I haven't said yet, and I will at the right point in time for me. I'm hoping that it will be available later this year. That very much depends on, well, shipping basically. Whether shipping lines, because I send my books by ship rather than air, are still working in the way that we would hope they are. And if they are, then hopefully the book will be able to come out later this year, once I've finished writing it, of course. Otherwise, then we'll have to wait till next year. We're just going to have to wait and see. We don't know what things are happening in this strange, crazy time. So, yeah, I hope you're having a good time with your sewing, and I certainly am with mine. See you next time. Bye.